Hello, everyone, mums and dads. If this is appearing in your Facebook feed, this is the Author Hangout live stream for kids, where we talk to some amazing Australian creators, illustrators, authors, all types of people that might be involved in creating bookish fun and books in general. And it's time for us to meet our guest for today. So let me fire up the computer and get this live stream started. Okay, it's time for the Author Hangout. Okay, it's Author Hangout, that's right, and we have a very special guest joining us. Well, we've got two very special guests joining us today. So kids, I hope you've got your pens and pencils ready, because you're going to need them, because we're going to be doing some fun stuff, some challenges with these special guests, some bookish challenges, which will be great. We're going to learn how to draw things, and we're also going to get our brains ticking over about how to come up with new stories, which will be fun too. But also, I know everyone's sort of stuck at home at the moment, so we're going to do a segment that I call Boredom Busters, which will give you something fun to do, just to take your mind off things just for a little while. Okay, two special guests today. Later on, we've got Nat Amoore, who wrote The Amazing Secrets of a Schoolyard Millionaire. But that's not all. She is about to release another book called The Power of Positive Pranking. But before she does that, she's got a boredom-busting idea that she's going to share with us. Plus, she has a very interesting confession she wants to make about our first guest in the show today. And that guest is Scott Edgar. Now, let us get Scott Edgar onto the show, make sure that he's a part of it, because he is a fantastic friend of mine, and we work together on a book called Derek Dool, Super Cool. Scott, are you there?
Yes, mate, I'm here. Are you there?
I think I'm here. Good to hear from you.
I think so. Yeah,
I
it's
think
good.
so.
Good.
Yeah. Now, the funny thing is about you and I is we actually live about 6 houses apart.
That's right. I basically can see you as I look out my window. See your front yard from here.
If we waved to each other, we could see each other. But, you know, this is the strange times we're living in. Now,
look, we don't have to deal with the smell anymore.
That's true. So that is a relief. Good. I didn't want to have to bring it up, but I'm glad that you're across it. That's good. Now, Scott, and is it Scott or Scod? For the kids that are watching, I might start to call you Scott.
People can call me whatever they like, but keep it down to Scott or Scod. That would just, one of the two would be ideal. Look, Scod is my nickname. Scott is my real name. That's the name my mum gave me. Yes. Scod, my mates gave me that name, and it's one of those useless nicknames that is exactly the same amount of work to say as the original name. So
that's right. What's the point? Anyway.
Well, there is no point. There is no point. Finally, someone spotted that there is no point.
Well, look, you are called Scott on Derek Dool, so your mum would be very happy with that.
Yes,
you've gone with your original name. Now, these live streams, I was explaining just before that we're going to do a bit of bookish fun for kids. So I'm going to catch up with a lot of great Aussie illustrators and creators and authors throughout the week. But today, in particular, it's all about us. It's not always going to be all about us, but today it is.
We have an agenda. We have something we've created alongside each other.
We have Derek Dool, Super Cool. So it hasn't been out very long. Probably about a month, and it's about a kid who wants to be the coolest kid in school. Now, I don't know where I get these ideas from, Scott. They just come to me, you know? It's just very creative, clearly.
I was very surprised to find out how autobiographical this book was, Adrian. Autobiographical, of course, is a word that means really it's about your own life. Do you think that's a fair call?
Look, there are a lot of moments in there that sadly are from my life, including there's a moment in there where Derek, he wires up some Christmas lights, and through the help of copious gel and a little battery pack, he wires them up so that they'll go off and he can wear them in his hair to the school disco. And I'm sorry to say that is I'm confessing this right now, that is something that I did myself when I went to school. And weirdly enough, it didn't make me super cool.
I was shocked.
Did you do anything
weird?
Did you do anything sort of to try and be cool when you were a kid?
I do remember one time I was in the chorus of Godspell in the school musical,
Yes.
and in a bizarre, in a kind of we were trying to like be hippies. So I thought rather than part my hair exactly like with a really perfect part, like just across in this slick, greasy kind of way, I'll be wild and I'll brush it all back and all up. And I felt so good that night when I rocked up to the musical that I thought that's my new hairdo. And so that was it for the rest of my school career. It was all like, in fact, even now, all I do is brush it back these days.
Right back.
But I thought I was really onto something, not to have this just slick, nerdy kind of part.
Well, clearly you were onto something because you've gone with it for all these years. So,
Yeah, that's right. And look where it's got me.
That's right. Amazing. Now, parents who are watching, make sure you get your kids in front of the screens because we're going to do some drawing in just a sec. But
by the way, now can you see that?
Look at this.
Hey? What do you think?
This is before you went the sweet back, obviously.
Yeah, that's right. My sister dug that photo up and sent it to my daughter.
I can see why you went with the sweet back.
So there you go. That's what you were dealing with. Yeah.
So clearly we were both super cool when we were kids. But what I was just saying before, the parents that might have got their kids to get down and you get their pens and pencils out and be ready to do some drawing exercises, that's great. But the parents that are doing that, they might actually recognize you from a world famous rock and roll comedy band too.
You're very kind. Yes, no, Tripod's the name of the band. We use the word band in inverted commas. I've been very lucky. I've traveled the world singing funny songs and being silly and telling stories with people. And I feel like the drawing is really just part of the same thing, It's all about connecting with people and telling stories and stuff. And so I'm very privileged, to be able to do both in my life. And I find the lessons I learn from one, I bring across to the other, and vice versa. So I'm very lucky.
That's great. So Tripod is obviously still dominating. And in terms of your drawing, though, were you have you always drawn? Were you a big drawer when you were a kid?
Yeah, 100% huge into drawing. That was what my path was going to be. When I was at high school in the 80s, I was intent on becoming a drawer of, mainly I just wanted to draw like fantasy illustrations, swords and sorcery and dragons and wizards zooming around and, spaceships. I remember me and my best mate, we used to go out, we'd go to the movies, and then our tradition was, this is in primary school, and then our tradition was we'd go back to his place and his mum very kindly would unroll a big thing of butcher's paper, and we would get the pens and pencils out and just draw all afternoon, like thinking about the things we saw in the movie. And it would normally be like X-wings and stuff. And so it was always a huge passion of mine. And then when I went away to sort of join the circus, as it were, and went traveling doing the funny songs, the drawing took a bit of a backseat, but it was always a big love of mine. It was always something I was passionate about, so I adore doing it now.
That's great. Well, that's an awesome idea too. If any kids out there have got parents might have butcher's paper. I don't even know whether people still hang on to butcher's paper these days, but you could just roll it out along the hallway and just draw all afternoon. That's a good boredom-buster too. Yeah.
It's the absolute best. Yeah. I mean, this was back in the days before computers. We didn't have time. We didn't have the option of just vegging in front of the PlayStation. So it was really a great way to spend an afternoon.
Had to make your own fun. And just going back to Tripod for just a moment, Nat, who's going to join us, Nat Amoore, who's going to join us soon, has a big confession for you. So I can't wait to find out what that is. But we'll get to that.
I wasn't there. It wasn't me.
But before we get to that, I want to get some drawing happening, if you're up for that. So
yes, please.
Awesome. To get your fingers warmed up, I've got a segment. Now, I used to love this show when I was a kid called Mr. Squiggles. Speaking of being a kid.
Yes.
Love
Mr.
Squiggles.
Absolutely. Now, he used to come down in a rocket from like Mars or something, didn't he? And his nose was out the window. I love that detail.
His nose was a pencil.
It was a pencil.
Yeah. So in some ways, you should be better at this next challenge than he was, because he had to sort of move his head around. So I suppose you get used to that.
Well, he had old-fashioned pens and butcher's paper to deal with. I'm having to like link up my my iPad to the magic internet. So we'll see
Yeah, but you know, what's that saying about blaming your tools or whatever it is? Anyway, we'll get there. Okay, so I need my special helpers behind the scenes to show us what segment we're about to do. It's a segment that we like to call, yes, that's the one. It's called, what's it called? Ready, set, draw. Awesome. And the funny thing about this ukulele, Scott, is that it never needs to be tuned. It's just always in tune. It's amazing.
Amazing. You've got the magic touch, Adrian. You've really got something.
I do, thank you. I appreciate that coming from you. Okay, now, Scott, if you could do us a favour and hook up your iPad, because I believe we have been sent in, through the power of the internet, we've been sent in two pictures for you to have a bit of a scribble on.
All right, well, let me muck around here and make sure I've got this all working.
We'll get your
properly.
iPad on board.
Yeah, get my iPad on board. There we go. Now, tell me if this works.
Yes.
Here it comes.
The idea is that a kid, and I think we've got two kids, one named Jane, one named Henry this time round.
Yeah.
They've sent in some squiggles. We're going to, you haven't seen them yet. I've emailed them to you, but you've been very good about not looking at them. And we're going to reveal them.
All right, you ready?
One at a time.
One at a time.
And we're going to give you 30 seconds. I've got my PJ Masks watch here.
All right, you count me down.
I'm going to put the stopwatch on, and I want to see what you can make of. Let's go with Jane's squiggle first up. Are you ready to go with that one there, Scott?
I am so ready. Which one did you want to start with? You tell me if we got the right one. I'll just open it up, and if it's the right one, tell me.
No worries. All right, you open it up, and then we'll start the countdown.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
There it is.
Yep, that's the one. Ready, set, go. Okay, 30 seconds to turn this into something.
30 seconds is not that long.
It's not. It's not. Oh, look at this. This is good so far. We need a soundtrack.
All right. Okay, so this is...
Not sure if that's the best soundtrack or if that's helping you or not. Okay, and we've got three people. Looks like there's some sort of sausage in the corner.
I don't know what...
We've got 10 seconds to go.
I don't know what to do with the sausage. Oh, yeah.
It looks like they're praising the sausage. Might be some sort of
We were talking about music before.
5 seconds and stop.
Right,
look at that.
Can you tell what that is? It's a rock concert. That's exactly what it is. There's someone singing with their microphone. This is you in
Godspell from all those years ago.
yeah. I'll put my hair. There we go.
That's how the hair was.
My special hair.
See, I can see why you did that. That's fantastic. Well done.
Wow, 30 seconds is not long. Now I just want to keep. All right, cool.
For Jane I'm ready. There, that's your very special. That's your very special squiggle in Ready, Set, Draw. Now, to make sure your fingers are completely warmed up, we've got one more, and the next one is from a young man named Henry.
Yep.
And let's see if what you can make of Henry's work here. Okay. You ready?
You ready? All right, here we go.
Ready, set, draw.
Draw.
Okay.
Oh, these are red lines. I'm going to pick red now.
Oh, look.
This is not easy. Oh,
it's not easy.
Henry,
no.
Okay, so I'm going to...
You've got sort of like an M shape in the corner there.
Oh, what have I done here? All right, so yeah, there's a bit of an M shape in the corner. I guess I'm just going to do that.
You're not 20 seconds in, so...
Oh my God, am I?
You're wasting your time, Scott.
I think there's some sort of bird.
Like this. Yes.
And it's raining. I think that's what's going on. It's raining. How about that?
I gave you an extra 3 seconds because it was very important to get those extra raindrops in.
I'm sure Mr. Squiggle had more time than this.
Well, you see, he didn't have a time frame. I think he just did it at his own pace.
So, yeah. Things were simpler then.
That's right. We've updated it for the whatever century we are in now. So well done. There you go, Henry. There is I reckon that's some sort of falcon or hawk or something like that.
Yeah. Look,
flying through a storm.
That's right, flying through a storm. That's right. As far as whether that's a beak or a really big nose, I'm not sure the difference there.
It's in the eye of the beholder, I think, that one, which is good. That's the way we like to operate. All right, so that's excellent.
I mean, I think that went pretty well.
Ready, get set to draw. What did I call it? Ready, set, draw. Excellent.
Ready, set, draw. Look, my favourite.
Yeah.
My favourite thing about this segment is how it really showcases the drawing skills that I bring to the table. I mean,
That's
look
right.
at that. That's years of study right there.
That's right. Yeah,
Years
I'm
of
glad the music career
study.
took off. That's good. No, that's excellent, because you can tell that you're really putting in there when you're singing whatever that main song was.
That's right. Yeah, I've lived it. That's autobiographical. We talked about that word before, didn't we?
We did. All right, if
All
you
right.
can
Shall I?
flick off your screen share just for a moment, because we're
There we
going to start our next segment. Now, my helpers have disappeared. Where's my helpers? Disappeared.
Helpers.
The next
Stop
segment.
there,
Oh, here we go. Here comes our helper. The next segment is called. Oh, it's called Story Starters. Yeah. Yes. Perfect.
Can't wait.
Thank you very much, helper. That was excellent. Okay. Now, in this segment, what we want to do is we want to make sure that those kids that are watching have an idea that they can take away, and maybe they'll turn it into a story at the end of it. So this is in two parts. Firstly, I'm going to ask you, Scott, if you could help us teach the kids how to draw Derek from Derek Dool Super Cool. So we're going to show them your process of how you draw Derek. Yep. And then once we've done that, we're going to turn Derek into another whole new character, so that they've got sort of like a story starter, a new character that perhaps they could use to turn into a short story this afternoon, if they so desire. How do you feel about that?
I feel great. I feel great about that. I am a little bit nervous, though. Yeah. Okay. I actually, I'm well into drawing the second book. We're working on the second book of Derek, and I'm really enjoying it. And I am a bit nervous about showing you how to draw Derek, because I'm still learning. He's quite hard to draw, but I guess we'll see how we go.
That's a very good point. In fact, if you don't mind, I might just share the pictures, the process that we went through to find out what Derek should look like right when we started up. Okay, so you can see here, after Scott got the manuscript, you obviously had to think about what Derek should look like. And you came up with those pictures on the left. Is that right?
Look, we had this is a tiny selection of the many pictures that were flying back and forth between us, Adrian. And on the left, there were a bunch of different shapes. So what you're going for when you're trying to draw, one of the big things you can do is think in terms of simple shapes underneath your drawing, right? Oh, yeah. So you can see along the top here, he's got quite a sort of triangular chin, and the number 4 down the bottom, you see that one, how his head is quite circular, and we're just looking at different ways of telling our stories through using different shapes. And when you're designing a character, that's really what you're going to start with, is like, what's the feeling we're going for? And the feeling obviously we're going for here with Derek is that he's a very cheeky, kind of unpredictable, quite charming, but really a bit of a loose cannon as well. Yes, he is. And so you can see all sorts of different ways into that.
Absolutely. And I think you showed us those on the left there, first of all. Mm-hmm. And I think we liked a combination of a couple. I think maybe it might have even been a little bit from the second one, and even a little bit from the third, or maybe the teeth from the fourth. I'm not sure, but we mixed a few together. And then these 6 that are on the right, they were the next sort of
that was the next tranche, the next phase, absolutely. So again, I'm looking for ways of having him be kind of cheeky and a bit of a smart aleck. And actually there's a few things in there that are inspired by that very famous smart aleck. You see number 5 in the middle there. Yeah. His mouth is very, very similar to Bugs Bunny's, actually, because I was going for that sort of mischievous sort of vibe. And I thought, well, let's have a look at how the classics did it. So I think what we ended up with Derek was somewhere between 4 and 5, essentially. Yeah, number 3 in there as well. Weirdly, we didn't go with the Godspell hair, though. I mean, that was a missed opportunity. Strange ideas that we have, if only you could go back. All right. So that was sort of a little insight into basically the evolution, like how Derek came to be what he looks like now. But now we're going to see how Derek actually ended up looking. And Scott, if you wouldn't mind sharing your screen, and the kids at home,
This is the
Let's
time
go
where we want
again.
you to get your pens and pencils and paper out, and we want you to draw along with Scott. I'm going to have a go as well, and we'll see if we
All
can
right.
draw Derek.
Okay, let's see how we go here. So we've got the thing about Derek. Well, for a start, he's got quite a big head. But the thing that makes him a bit tricky to draw is that he's actually kind of handsome. You know, Derek. So the
Well, he
thing
is
about his
based on
face.
me, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what it is. So if you can just sort of draw a sort of a circle, or kind of a half circle, but with actually quite a square jaw. There you can see how that's
Okay,
going
so
on
half
there, down
circle,
there.
and then sort of a triangular jaw down the
Yeah,
bottom.
and then a triangular jaw down the bottom. Now, the other thing about Derek, as I say, he's got quite a big head.
Yep.
So he is 4 of his own head tall. Okay.
He's 4 of his own head tall, and is that unusual?
He's 4 of his own head tall. Well, normally a normal
How many heads are
grown
you?
up. I'm about 7. I'm about 7 heads. I mean, Derek's just a little kid, right? So, you know, he's not going to be as tall as a grown up, but he's even probably a bit taller than. So then we're kind of looking for a kind of a curvy kind of, almost like if you took a rectangle and squished it around, right?
Okay.
So I'm doing this real rough.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing somewhere in here. He's got big shorts on, okay? So another couple of rectangles here.
Okay, a couple of rectangles down the bottom there to make the shorts.
All right. And now you can put his legs anywhere you want. I'm going to put him like out there like that because he's kind of wacky. He's always getting himself into sort of trouble. So you can see I'm going for like an action going through here. So there's his legs. You can just put little sticks or triangles, make it as rough as you like. More triangles here for the feet. All right. Again, it's quite rough because I've got me big pastel-y kind of pencil happening. All right. And now we're also going to, hang on, hopefully my pencil is still working. I did charge it before this. It's not ideal when my pencil runs out. That's when I start hoping for those my pens. How are you going, Adrian? Are you drawing along with us?
I'm.
What have you come up with?
Well, I can. Do you want to? Do you want me to? Is your pencil flat?
I'm just charging it right now. So I shouldn't need long to fire it back up again.
I'm going okay, but I don't have much in the way of a face.
Oh yeah, no.
And I ran out of.
Okay, we'll get there.
I ran out of room at the bottom, so he's kind of doing an awkward splits.
All right, well that's fine too. Yeah, okay. He's got kind of spindly arms. You could do squiggles for his arms for his hands. Okay. Just triangular sort of squiggles, or maybe that's a bit big. I'm going to rub that out, make his arms a bit less long. I always make my characters have the arms too long. All right, so let's go for the face. Let's have a look at the face now. The thing about the face is you can see I've got those ears there. Yes. If you drew a line between the ears.
So
somewhere like that.
So kids should draw a line so they know where the eyes go. Is that what the thinking is there?
That's right. That'll tell us where the eyes go. And he's got a little squiggly. Yeah, that's right. And I'm just going to do the eyes as little dots for now because we don't want to get in too much detail. Sure. Little squiggly. The nose is shaped like that. You know, you could do a nose all kinds of ways, right?
Yep.
But his nose is kind of shaped a little bit like that.
Okay.
And then we're going to do another triangle for the mouth.
Yep.
And the thing about Derek is his teeth are all over the shop. He's got so many gaps and strange things.
Yes, yes.
All right. And the fun thing, and we're going to give him a bit of detail here. He's got his never tucked in. His collar's always all over the shop. Yeah. And the other fun thing about Derek is his hair. He is constantly, his hair is just an absolute nightmare. Every single picture we put him in, there we go. His hair is crazy. So there's Derek for you. That's a really super rough version.
Yep.
But you're always starting with this kind of quite straight jaw. Yep. And then you just have a lot of fun with the chaos of drawing Derek. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, that's awesome. So I guess if you concentrated just on the face, you're almost looking at doing sort of like a upside down pot plant.
Yeah,
a pot for a pot plant. And then if you join that up with a triangle down the bottom, you've sort of got the shape right.
Well, that's right. I mean, you could even start, I'm just going to put that over in the corner here. You could even start with a circle and then just go straight down the bottom off it like that.
Okay.
That makes
Right.
sense. And then where the circle hits this jaw, that's about roughly where the ears are going to be.
Love it.
Okay.
And he's always got shoelaces undone too.
Oh, shoelaces undone. That's right. Always. So I really enjoy drawing all those chaotic shapes with Derek. That's one of the most fun things about him. And of course, he's got his friends Denise and Booger as well, who are also super fun to draw.
And for those who aren't quite sure who they are and why they're called, why he's called Booger, it's all explained in the book.
Yes, it's all explained, and you might wish you hadn't heard. Once you find out the story of how Booger became Booger, you might regret asking in the first place.
So something is best not to know.
Indeed. So there's Derek a bit more close up. You can see. Okay,
that's great. So kids at home who are drawing along, there's a closer version of the head. So starting with a circle, doing that triangle down the bottom, and then that wavy hair.
All that chaotic hair, and you have fun with all those shapes in the hair. You always want to enjoy those things like waves and trees and bushes and clothes, anything crinkly and detailed. Just really have fun with those shapes, because you know that's where the enjoyment is. Awesome. That's why whenever I'm drawing hands, it's usually starts with just a triangle with some squiggles, and then we just sort of see what happens, you know.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, so that's awesome. Thank you for that. And given this segment's about story starters, what I thought we might do is, now that we've learned how to draw Derek, we can put that to one side, and we can keep it there, because we're going to sort of throw in another element to Derek and come up with a whole new character. And then perhaps kids at home, they might be able to use that as an idea, and they might be able to take that character and write a short story about that character in the afternoon, perhaps. So if you took, I'm trying to think of another element to throw into it. I'm wondering if you took Derek's head, and then you gave him that Godspell hairdo instead of the Derek hairdo.
What a great idea!
We might create something fantastic here.
All right, well, let's put Derek over in the corner there of our sketchy bit of paper, and let's start again with a circle, and we're gonna put our like straight jaw on there with which is Derek. Yep. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that a bit. Excuse me, I'm going to move that a bit smaller, just to so I make room for the hairdo. Yep. Looking good. Let's see, am I doing that? All right, there we go. Okay, so sorry, that shouldn't have taken as long. All right, so here we go. So Derek's ears, Derek's eyes.
Now they're always quite low, the ears.
The ears are quite low, that's right. Derek's nose. All right, so let's just get Derek happening. Now, hairdo.
Okay, so this is the Derek part. Now we need to add the new element, which turns him into a whole new character. No one will believe it.
No one will believe it. So what if we just gave it a big, strange shape like that? How about that?
That looks a little bit trollish, like the troll.
It does look a bit trollish, doesn't it?
Is that sort of how you went?
Well, maybe it needs to be spikier than what a troll would do. Like maybe it's actually a little bit messier than something a troll would bring to the table. So maybe something like that.
Yeah, great.
And what if, since he's in a production of Godspell, what if we put a star around his eye?
Yeah,
so he's some sort of disco superhero. How about that?
I love it.
All right. And we'll give him some big collars there. In fact, we could give him like quite a fancy big sort of collar, as though he's, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you his whole outfit, and then you can tell me what sort of Derek this is. So there he is with his big hair.
Love it. And did you go with the star? Did you have a star makeup when you were in that play, or did you go with that?
I did. Yes, I went for the star makeup. I was a big Kiss fan. I don't know if kids have heard of the band Kiss, but it was all the rage back when I was...
They may not have heard of Kiss, but I'm sure they're in their parents' Spotify or CD collection. So get on board with Kiss. I was Made for Loving You.
That's right.
Those classics.
There, we're going to just put a very quick sort of pose here for Derek.
Yep.
And then we're going to see the full glory of his outfit, which is a big cape that he's wearing.
And was this similar to what you wore as well? Is this all inspired by you?
Various phases of my life, not all at once.
Okay.
And there he is. There's Derek with his strange hair and his gigantic cape. What do you make of that, Adrian?
I love
what do you
it.
think?
I love it. Okay, so we need a name for this new character. So what was the name of the character you played back in the day? Do you remember?
Oh, well, I was just in the chorus, so
Oh.
I couldn't possibly, I didn't have a name back in the day, but I feel like this guy's some sort of disco wizard, personally.
Yes. Okay.
Do you think?
Why don't we call him Disco Dave?
Disco Dave.
The
Love
kids
it.
at home, what we want you to do, we want you to use this as a story starter. So have a look at Disco Dave. He started off as Derek, and then we threw in a lot of Scott's background into him. We've merged him into a brand new character called Disco Dave, and we want you, if you find yourself with some time in your hands this afternoon, we want you to come up with a short story about Disco Dave. Okay, I want to know what happens to him because he looks like quite a character. I love his hair.
Yeah, and I'm even gonna give him some feet here. You can see he's a bit off balance because he's kind of on the move, Disco Dave. Yep. There we go.
He's twinkle toes. He can never stay still, old Disco.
Indeed. And he even some glitter flying around. And in fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get rid of these, and then we'll put him in a spotlight. Bang.
Yes, exactly. His natural environment.
Disco Dave, where he belongs.
Thank you very much, Scott. That is awesome. So kids at home, have a look at Disco Dave. Think about what might happen to him. Now, when I write a story, one of the first things I think about is what went wrong. So Disco Dave, he's going to the disco with an amazing outfit, but what might go wrong? What might happen to Disco that that means that he might have to overcome some sort of hurdle to get to his disco, or even when he's at the disco itself. Up to you. That'd be awesome to think that you were writing some short stories at home today.
I can't wait to hear what people come up with. Yeah, I want to know what happens to Disco Dave.
Oh, I'm not sure myself. I can't wait to find out. Please let us know. Parents, please just comment away. Let us know what send us photos. We'd love to see anything that the kids come up with, or even their Dereks. If they drew some Dereks, we'd love to see some Dereks as well. That'd be great. Okay, Scott. Well, before we let you go, what I might get you to do, jump out of that screen so that we can get to our final segment of today's live stream. And for that, we're going to get a special guest. So what I might do is get her in here right now. In fact, let's just do our special, because I've got my helpers standing by, and it's always good to use them when they're standing by. So this is the last segment, and it's called, come on over. It's called Boredom Busters.
Boredom Busters. Yes, please.
Great work. Thank you, helpers. Awesome. Okay, Boredom Busters. Now, to help us with this last segment of today, I'm going to get Nat Amoore on board. Now, Nat Amoore has a huge confession for Scott, so I'm not sure what that's all about, but it's going to be interesting.
You will make me call your name. Ow! Shout it to the blue summer sky. And we never meet again.
Nat, hello.
We're here. Sorry. Hello. I was just doing a bit of tripod karaoke. Sorry.
Wow, that's karaoke from that track was on our first ever album that you're singing there. That we covered that song in 1996, I believe.
Oh. Scott, don't try and teach me about tripod. I know more about tripod than anyone.
Fair enough. I should stay in my lane.
Nat, is this your big confession? Well, actually, what is your big confession? Can you let us know?
Well, when I was in year 12 and I was house captain at School Performing Arts, we sung Tripod's kind of mashup of Throw Your Arms Around Me and Lion Sleeps Tonight for our house singing. And I'm pretty sure we won, just FYI. Boom, mic drop. Yes. I don't want to actually drop it because then I'll break my desk. But yeah, we were awesome.
Tripod
you guys
fans,
were amazing.
Tripod fans are winners. Winners.
Yeah. Tripod was my second favorite band in high school.
I'll take it. I'll take that. That's fine.
But now you're my first favorite illustrator. So
Oh, Nat, you're very, very kind.
Totally
indeed.
climbing the ladder there, big guy.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
That's fantastic. Well, of course, now Nat wrote Secrets of the Schoolyard Millionaire. And
I did. That's my book.
That's
is
just
an
wonderful.
Awesome book. And also, The Power of Positive Pranking is coming. When's that coming, Nat? Is it June? Oh, you've got it there.
This one comes out June 2nd. This is an uncorrected proof. See? And I only own one copy. Yes. So this is coming out on June 2nd. It's a little follow-up / sidequel to Secrets of a Schoolyard Millionaire.
Oh, how wonderful.
Fantastic.
And what's the name of our friend there on the cover?
Oh, this is Casey. Casey Wu.
Casey Wu looks like she could hang around with Derek and cause trouble.
Mm.
Oh,
Them
yeah,
two
Casey
together
Wu.
would be nothing but trouble.
Yeah.
No, they definitely would be nothing but trouble. Also, exceptionally good dancers as well.
That's right.
Derek with anyone is trouble, really. That's the problem.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's
So this
true.
segment is called Boredom Busters, and we've got you on board, Nat, not only to air that true confession, which we love, but also because, Nat, you have started something amazing, which is also bookish fun. Tell us a little bit about that. I think it's called Book and Boogie, and it started today. Is that right?
That's right. So I've been sitting back watching all the amazing things that all the kids' authors are doing and thinking, I'm nowhere near that clever. So I decided I would try something that took way less brain power and more stupidity, because that's how I roll.
Nice.
And so I took my love of kids' books and my love of dancing, and I put them together to come up with a thing called Book and Boogie.
Yes.
So essentially what I do is each episode I pick a book,
Yep.
and then I pick a song inspired by that book, and then I do a dance routine to that song. So it's for the kids that, like me, who are starting to go a bit crazy being inside all day.
No, we can't tell,
and they
Nat.
can
You're
get-
hiding it really well.
Yeah.
Thank you, I'm really trying. And they can get up and dance a bit and exert some energy, and also learn about some cool new books that are out. And by coincidence, the first episode.
What is it?
You know what
What is
book
it?
we're done? Derek Dill, super
Whoa!
cool.
Awesome! Derek! He's a Book and Boogie star.
How
Yeah.
exciting! And do you have a dance planned, Nat, for Derek? Because there are a few marked out in the book that I've.
I know. You know what? I tried it. Do you know how hard it is to do your described move?
Oh.
I'll just show you how
It
it
is.
went. It's the karate chop arm, the backward sticking leg, the head, and then you need to go to the toilet. It was not working at all. So I pretty much scrapped all Adrian's advice and made up my own moves.
Yeah,
I'm
but
way
no,
cooler.
Fair enough. Look,
You know
Nat,
what,
it wasn't.
Nat? You nailed it, though. That was amazing.
That was pretty
Oh,
close. Look, there
thanks.
wasn't even. It was basically impossible to even draw. So I can't imagine a human doing it.
I had full intentions of including that dance move until I actually tried to do it
Yeah.
and then scrapped it very quickly.
Little unrealistic, yeah. So Derek tries to come up with his own dance move and, tops it off with needing to make it look like he needs to go to the toilet, which, probably not advised in making up a dance move. But that's what he does. That's Derek for you. So now
And I
we
also
want everyone...
almost dislocated my hip
Yeah.
trying to do it. So.
Sorry about that. Send the bill through to Scott. Okay, so
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, we'll do.
I'll sort you out.
now there's Derek. There's some Derek's, but what I want to show you is a picture of. Am I showing
There
you
it
the
is.
Book and Boogie? There you are.
Ooh.
Yeah. So make sure. So
Hey,
when can
that's
we find
me.
that? When can we find that, Nat?
So I launched the first episode at 10 a.m. this morning.
Yep.
You can go to my Facebook page, which is Nat Amoore Writer, and click through to the YouTube. And then if you want, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. And every time I put up a new dance video about a new book, you can get it straight to your little devicey thing to watch
Yes.
it on.
Love it.
And you can start scheduling into your homeschooling if you don't really want your kids to learn anything. Yay!
No, you know what though? It's great.
But they'll
exercise.
get a good workout.
It's great exercise.
Yeah, exactly.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
that's right.
aerobics Oz style for kids. Perfect.
Yes, by a completely qualified instructor.
That's right.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Now, this is a boredom busting segment. So not only have they kids at home got that option, there's also something they might be able to play along with, which I've got just here. And it's a segment, just to finish the show, it's a segment I'm calling Book or Chook. Okay.
How's the home crafts going, Adrian?
That's my daughter's made the title there.
That's great.
Well, it was too good for you to have done it.
That's what we're all about here. Okay. So
Production values.
production values through the roof. I know.
Don't you know an illustrator, Adrian? Just checking.
He's very busy on book 2. Okay, so
That's right. I got work to do.
so this is Book or Chook. Now, it works very much like a game you might know called Hangman, but we've changed it slightly to Book or Chook. So what happens is I'm going to give you guys a go. You're going to play off against each other, and you need to guess the name of the book before I can draw a chook in your little section here. And my pen is failing me, so we've had a lot of.
Did you not charge your texter?
Didn't charge my texter. Okay.
All right, I get it.
So, Scott, do you want to go first?
Yes, please.
You can select
do I get any
letter.
clues? Like, is it like?
I don't think I should give you a clue at this stage.
All right.
But
No, me neither.
Fine.
Considering we haven't started.
Okay, my letter is E.
Oh, then if your letter's E, I need to draw a foot.
It's the most common letter in the alphabet.
So where should I put the ones that aren't right? The ones that aren't right, I'm going to put here.
Okay. E. How's your left hand holding up? You're gonna run out of
I'm hoping you're going to get
muscles
this.
at
A
some
quick
point.
game's a good game, people. Now, the loser, because it's called Book or Chook, has to do the chicken dance. I've just thrown that in, and I think that's a good way to finish today's live stream. So there's a lot on the line, people.
There is a lot on the line.
Okay.
All right, my go.
Yes, go for it.
S.
Oh, this is unbelievable. What a start.
Oh, that's difficult.
Yeah.
Wow, E and S. Okay, what about A?
Oh, yes, there's an A. Well done. Okay.
Ooh.
No
T.
guesses yet, though, Scott?
No guesses yet, no.
T.
Oh, good one. We're
Oh.
getting closer and closer here. This is the name of a book.
A-T.
Nat Rocks.
No. No one's ever written a book called that. Okay.
C?
C. No C, I'm afraid. So that means you get another chicken leg here, and you might be doing the chicken dance.
N.
What was that, Nat?
N for nuts.
No, I had to work it out in my head for a moment there, but no.
Oh,
It just
I want a
takes a moment
clue.
for my brain to take over.
H? What about H?
H. Okay, I'm going to give you a clue. There's a sort of a chickenish body.
How much detail are you going to put into this chicken?
Ah.
Is it a lot?
I'm going to give you
Hope it's
a
a lot.
wing and a head. Scott, you've got 2.
Oh no, 2 more. Oh God.
I think a classic children's book. Nat, your go.
B.
B? No.
Man.
There we go. Look at that.
We're
chook.
sort of helping each other with all our wrong answers, aren't we?
Yeah.
What about O?
Oh, I wish I could have said yes.
Mm.
So
What?
I'm going to do the wing. I already started the wing, but I'm fleshing out the wing a bit. But next, we've got a head. If we get the head, Scott, you're doing the dance.
No? What about the little dangly thing underneath the
Okay,
chin?
we'll give you the
I'll get one
dangly
of
thing.
those, right?
We'll give you
Okay,
the
cool,
dangly
cool, cool.
I.
Oh, I. Okay, good one, Nat. Now we're getting somewhere. In fact, I'll give you the dangly bit because there's 2 A's and I forgot the final A. What a hopeless game show host. I'm sorry, kids at home. Kids at home
So
thinking,
it's-
this doesn't make any sense.
We should have got someone who could spell her on this
Yeah,
game.
you should have.
Is it a famous children's book called Ratikla?
Love that book.
Is that a
It's a
genuine
good one,
guess?
isn't it? No.
Oh, I thought it might not be. Yeah.
What about R? What about can I ask for an R?
You can ask for R. In fact, the author's first name starts with R, but there is no R in this book title, I'm afraid. So, Nat, it's over to you.
D.
Ooh, yes, there is a D. Nat might be onto it.
Oh,
Scott's only got
I've
two
got it.
chances.
yeah,
What is it?
it's definitely it's Matilda.
It's
clearly.
Matilda!
By Roald
Yay!
Dahl.
Congratulations.
Phew.
Scott, you've won.
So
book.
who
You
gets-
could have gone with something a bit better, well known.
Yes. I know. Very
When
obscure.
I grow up, I will be. I'm giving you some music so you can dance.
I don't mind losing if it makes Scott sing.
Well, come on, Nat. Give us the chicken dance.
Oh yeah.
When I
Sorry.
grow
As the
up,
official
I
loser.
will be
That's the official
Santa
loser.
Fe.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Oh wow, that
You're
is the
welcome.
best possible outcome. That's the best outcome.
Sure is.
That's
Sure
definitely.
Makes losing worth it.
Oh, that's fantastic. What a high note to finish today's live stream on. Thank you, Nat, for joining us with your Boredom Busters. And make sure you check out Book and Boogie, which is an awesome new video, which I believe is 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If I can
Monday,
keep it
Wednesday,
up.
Friday. Makes a lot more sense. Excellent.
Yeah,
the morning.
Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Adrian. What? Really?
I thought you might be working
Go back
around
to your
something. I
spelling.
don't know.
Yeah, that's right. We're all trying to make the scheduling work, aren't we?
But good luck with that, and make sure everyone checks that out. And we'll be back with more live streaming tomorrow. I've got Gavin, better known as Zen Pencils, who has come up with the Super Sidekicks graphic novels, which are going through the roof. So we'll be chatting with him, learning how to draw some Super Sidekicks and doing some other silly challenges as well. So that'll be a lot of fun. And Scott, thank you so much for joining us and talking us through how to draw Derek and all the rest. And thank
Wonderful.
you for telling us about how you were super cool when you were a kid and
So
admitting
cool.
why you've got that excellent hairstyle, which you've committed to, which we all think was a great idea.
Yeah, so cool. So thanks for having me. It's been a great pleasure. I can't believe how
I
good
want
my
to know
life's
that
been.
guy.
Thanks, guys. That's it for today's live stream. We'll see you again soon.